With Commissioner Perez, you just filed for the 41st District Court instead of re-election. Talk about that decision.
Well, I took office 4 years ago at a time when it was probably the most challenging for the county. We were coming out of an FBI raid in the county offices. We were facing some pretty challenging economic times that the entire nation was facing, in particular local government. Local government was going bankrupt, and I felt that it was a calling for me to do what I needed to do to preserve what the work that I've done for so many years. I've worked for El Paso County for many years, and as a legal advisor and as an attorney, and I just thought there was a calling there for me to take the helm of Precinct 1, take it away from one of the people who had been raided by the FBI, and rebuild public's trust, contribute to some very difficult decisions that needed to be made in that term, and I think I've met that challenge. But my heart does still lie with the legal work, with the legal community. And given my experience as both a criminal and civil litigator, I have experience in both, and this court has jurisdiction of both types of cases, plus my own insight as a county commissioner to understand what it means to run a justice system, and the responsibility and the mandate from the state to do what is best and for a community that relies on its justice system. I thought that experience put together would best serve the community in the 41st. And with the vacant seat, Judge Bramlett, is my understanding, is deciding not to run. I thought this was an opportunity for me to continue my public service, but at the same time do things that I love to do, which is work with the law and work with the attorneys.
Given the fact that we've had a couple of judges that have actually gone to trial for various alleged allegations, how do you feel about running for a judicial seat after that?
Well, it doesn't necessarily affect my decision. The crimes committed by those individuals is exactly that, just crimes of certain individuals. And whether it's sitting at a corporate chair or sitting in a judge's chair, it's the crime of the individuals that's made against the public.
But do you feel at all that it's a negative reflection or impact on the judicial branch here in the El Paso area for that to be happening?
Well, I can tell you it was, simply because people came to realize that judges that are elected in any community are public servants and are paid by taxpayers and are supposed to be responsible to upholding the laws that they're administering in their own courtrooms. And typically once a judge is elected, they're usually off the radar. There are judicial commission rules that prevent them from being political or supporting positions, and so they remain as neutral as possible, and so they stay off of people's radar. And so it did bring to light the responsibilities that are had with electing judges as well.
So given that background and that framework, most people that are going to be casting votes in this election will never ever experience a judicial system, will never ever see a judge in court, don't really have a frame of reference in terms of how best to choose a judge, yet they have their shoulder with the responsibility of doing so. So what should they be looking for? How should they make that decision?
Well, they should be looking for experience and the credentials that come with each candidate. It is an application for a job held in the public trust. And while they may never set foot in a courtroom, because it's rarely a pleasant experience when you do, there are a few occasions where judges get to administer great things like marriages and adoptions and preservation of families. But knowing that they will not likely ever go into a courtroom, it is one of the important branches of government. It's one of the foundations of democracy. So if you're a voter, that means that you should be interested on any elected position that takes office, and that you set a high standard for these candidates, whether it's commissioner or judge.
Final question, if you were talking to an undecided voter out there making their decision on who they're going to support in that race, what would you tell them? What would your message be?
I would tell them that I am the best candidate. I am their candidate for the 41st Judicial District Court because of the responsibilities that I've already taken and demonstrated to the public that I can administer. My experience as a litigator for the last nearly 25 years is significant. And I can tell you that I enjoy the work, and I am hardworking. And I think that is what the public deserves, is that high standard of work ethic and experience, and I'm that candidate.